They say the Ballon d'Or is football's highest individual honor, the golden cherry on top of a flawless season. But if anyone's been paying attention, it's clear. It's not always about who's best. It's about who fits the narrative best. The most obvious choices slip through their fingers like sand. Back in 2007, Ricardo Kaká lifted the Ballon d'Or. And yes, his Champions League campaign with AC Milan was spellbinding. That solo goal against Manchester United, iconic. The Brazilian made it look effortless, carving through defenders like they weren't there. But here's the thing. Milan finished fourth in Serie A that season. Fourth, in a league where Kaká was supposed to be running the show. Meanwhile, players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Ronaldinho were arguably more consistent across the year. Ronaldo was terrorizing Premier League defenses week in and week out, while Ronaldinho was still pulling magic out of nowhere at Barcelona. Still, the glow of European nights seemed to blind the voters. A deserved win? Maybe, but only if the season ended in May. In 2008, Ronaldo finally got his crown. Premier League champion, Champions League winner. 42 goals came from everywhere, free kicks, headers, solo runs. This one wasn't just deserved, it was overdue. For once, everything lined up. The trophies, the stats, the impact. You could see he'd stepped up a level. No questions asked. By 2009, Messi had arrived. A treble with Barcelona that wasn't just won, it was dominated. His Ballon d'Or win? Utterly deserved. Anyone else would have just been making up the numbers. But in 2010, everything broke. Messi won again, but didn't score a single goal at the World Cup. Wesley Sneijder had a treble with Inter Milan and carried the Netherlands to the World Cup final. Joint top scorer, playmaker, winner. His passes split defenses. His vision turned half chances into clear-cut opportunities. But somehow, he was not even in the top three. Iniesta and Xavi made the podium for winning the World Cup with Spain. Still, Sneijder's omission turned the ceremony into a circus. Messi's numbers dazzled, but this time the spotlight fell on the wrong man. In 2011, Messi continued to glide above the game. Another league title, more outrageous goals. But Ronaldo was closing in more goals in fewer minutes, leading a lesser Real Madrid side with terrifying consistency. The Portuguese machine was finding new gears. Still, Messi walked away with the trophy. It was deserved, sure, but barely. Then came 2012. Messi's 91 goals made headlines worldwide. No one had ever done that before. But was it enough to earn this prestigious award? Well, the voters thought so. But on the other hand, football purists, not all of them agreed. In 2013, Ronaldo returned with fire. No major trophies, but 66 goals and a heroic hat-trick against Sweden in the World Cup qualifiers. The voting deadline was mysteriously extended just in time to include that match. Meanwhile, Frank Ribéry had won the treble with Bayern Munich. Statistically solid, tactically vital, but not flashy, not Ronaldo, and apparently not enough. The award slipped from his grasp, and with it, perhaps at the last moment, the Ballon d'Or could have made a statement about balance over branding. 2014 saw Ronaldo lift it again, and this time no one flinched. He delivered Real Madrid's long-awaited La Decima, top scorer in the Champions League, decisive in the final. There was no debate, deserved a full stop. 2015 was Messi's year again, a second treble. The infamous MSN trio Messi, Suarez, and Neymar tore Europe apart. They moved like they shared a single mind, each knowing exactly where the others would be. Messi wasn't just the best, he was untouchable. Ronaldo had great numbers, but this wasn't his fight. Not this time. 2016 brought a different Ronaldo. Less flair, more ruthlessness. He won the Champions League and the Euros with Portugal. A man is reborn. Even those who disliked his style admitted that he showed up when it mattered most. The biggest stages, the highest pressure, that's where this version of Ronaldo thrived. A deserved win, absolutely, possibly his most complete. 2017 continued the same story. Another Champions League, another La Liga, another Ballon d'Or for Ronaldo. Messi had the usual stats, goals, assists, dominance, but trophies had begun to tilt the scale back toward Ronaldo. The rivalry was at its peak, and for once, the award didn't feel like a popularity contest. 2018, everything changed. Luka Modrić, a midfield metronome, the man who made everything tick, Champions League winner, World Cup finalist. But here's the twist. Ronaldo had more goals, more headlines, and Mbappe had just lifted the World Cup with France at 19. Modric's win felt noble. The award was finally recognizing the architects of the game, the players who made others better. But in a world where attacking stats had ruled for a decade, this one felt less like recognition and more like redemption, a sentimental curveball. Deserved? For the romantics, yes. For the statisticians, less so. In 2019, Messi was back. Another La Liga title, another 50-plus goals. But Virgil van Dijk had turned Liverpool into a European powerhouse. He changed the game without even touching the ball. His positioning was so perfect, it was like he could see the future. Still, when the votes came in, Messi edged it by a sliver. A coin toss dressed in a tuxedo. Then came 2020, and silence. Lewandowski, in the form of his life, led Bayern Munich to a treble. He scored 55 goals, dominated every competition. However, the award was cancelled due to the pandemic. Football didn't stop. Only the trophy did. And Lewandowski's perfect season was flushed down the memory hole. 2021 offered a chance to correct that, and didn't. Messi won for his Copa America triumph, with Argentina finally breaking his international curse. But Lewandowski broke Gerd Muller's Bundesliga record, again carried Bayern, and was statistically untouchable. Even Messi said, "Robert, you deserve this." Yet the trophy stayed in his hands. The crowd clapped. The football world cringed. 2022 finally brought clarity. Karim Benzema, a long-awaited, fully deserved victory. Then came 2023, and the chaos returned. Messi won his 8th Ballon d'Or. He had led Argentina to World Cup glory, a legendary swan song. But his club form at PSG, forgettable. Meanwhile, Erling Haaland broke Premier League records, won the treble with Manchester City, and scored 52 goals. It was a statistical avalanche, a season for the history books. And yet the trophy returned to Messi. Was it legacy, World Cup tax, a final tribute? Perhaps all three, but deserving in the face of what Haaland achieved? That's a much harder sell. And in 2024, the Ballon d'Or finally did something it rarely does. It recognized the backbone, the silent conductor, the player who doesn't make the TikToks or dominate the thumbnails, but does dominate the pitch. Manchester City's midfield general Rodri was crowned the world's best player. And for once, there wasn't a stampede of outrage, just a ripple of surprise, followed by a slow, respectful nod from those who actually watched the game. When others had off days, some called it overdue, others called it boring. But for once, the Ballon d'Or went to the player who made everything work, not just the one who finished the final pass. Deserved? Absolutely. And maybe, just maybe, a step in the right direction. Now looking forward to 2025, will it be awarded to a truly deserving player? Because the Ballon d'Or doesn't always reward the best footballer. Sometimes it rewards the best story, the most marketable narrative, and the player whose victory will generate the most headlines and social media buzz. It's a golden trophy that sometimes glows with deserved recognition and sometimes tarnishes with questionable decisions. So the next time someone points at that golden orb and says, "See? He was the best," just remember, gold doesn't always mean greatness. Sometimes it just means convenient. Do you think next year will be different? Will talent outweigh all the other stuff? Or will those invisible forces continue their same old game? What's your take on it?